Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the latest in our Meet the Management series. My name is Mark Ashton, and I'll be your host for today. Purpose of these sessions is to give our clients and other stakeholders the opportunity to engage with thought leaders, share some of the positions they've developed in terms of content they've created. And today I'm joined by Ginen Moodley from Moodley Attorneys Incorporated. Ginen was recently in the BRICS Summit in Sandton, so he's got some interesting insights to share there. Maybe just starting point, Ginen, who are you and what is your claim to fame?
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for that introduction. So my claim to fame is starting a born-free corporate and commercial law firm 10 years ago. And we just needed a space and a platform to encourage entrepreneurs and people that have a passion for corporate and commercial law, like myself. I always knew that I wanted to be a part of business, and this was a good way to be in it and be supporting it. And we do the whole cycle of corporate and commercial law, particularly for family-owned businesses. So the whole family planning in terms of estate planning, all the way to establishment, formations of companies, mergers, acquisitions, all the way down to managing their employees, the whole life cycle of their companies. We try and build that relationship to be their trusted advisor.
Excellent. And I mean, you've recently been at the BRICS Summit. I think it really has been the highlight of Sandton and Joburg for the last week and a bit. We've had jet fighters, we've had blue light convoys. There's been no shortage of excitement in and around Sandton and Joburg. You attended as a delegate. Maybe give us some insight into, what were some of the key takeaways from that event for you?
I must say it was a fantastic event overall. And I've got to say, South Africa showcased its excellence. Everyone from the presenters, the speakers, all that participated, the management, logistics, very seamless. The takeaways, I think, is this mutual win-win relationship building. I think the society has come around now to understand that we don't need big brothers. We need to respect each other's sovereignty, and we need to try and work together for the greater good. I think that's the understanding that everyone is inhabiting this planet, and we've got to do things together that drives everyone up. And that was the theme of the BRICS Summit. And the takeaways, we can see where we can support each other and learn from each other. Infrastructure, critical. And there's massive push, and we're getting funding, as we can see from the New Development Bank or the BRICS Bank. There is funds that they're going to push into infrastructure. Naturally, energy was a massive talking point. Definitely positioning ourselves well for energy. The transition will be quicker, hopefully, for us to a greener sort of energy pool or determination. Even our ocean line, our coastal line is beautiful across the board. And there's so much of opportunities to look at it and how we can extract value for everyone from it. I think tourism is always a big sector in South Africa, and people love it. We were voted, I think, best country, best city, Cape Town. Yeah, people are still coming here, seeing a lot of beauty. Big sectors for us, good for the driving more employment into those areas. Mining or extraction is always going to be a big topic in South Africa. Digitalization is a lovely one as well. We've seen what India has done in terms of getting everyone to participate in terms of the economy, in terms of the ability to transact, using these platforms and e-commerce or even fintech and digitization of it. So some lovely manufacturing, advanced manufacturing went to the special economic zone. The automotive sector, big player for us, and seeing in I think 12 months or 18 months the ability for our government to build those facilities and make them accessible. You can see that there is a desire and there is a push towards growing our economy.
I think it's really interesting. I mean, I love the mention of tourism. I mean, it's one of those sectors I just think is something that South Africa can just do really, really well. It's something we excel at. It's a beautiful place to come and visit. But just listening to some of the comments that you brought out there, I think if you look at the discussions around BRICS, We've got this fascinating world that's playing out at the moment. Yes, our traditional trading partners have been the US. Yes, they've been in Europe. But a lot of the Indian, Chinese businesses in particular have started to establish these trade corridors in Africa. And the reality is that they are becoming very significant investors in the continent and in South Africa directly. Any particular interesting presentations or people you met there that almost highlight the commitment and the investment that's coming into the continent?
Definitely. Wow. I was fortunately to be a part of the Indian business delegation, and the FICCI was it's the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which is over 100 years old. I think was also started by Mahatma Gandhi. They invited me to a lot of the events, and just the pool of individuals at the table that were here investigating as to whether they should bring their businesses here. They were just talking from an India point of view. They're about a 3.5 trillion economy, and by 2030, I think the idea is to get to 7 trillion. And a lot of the people that were at the table were pivotal in making sure that India's growth would reach that target. And if they are also eyeing out opportunities in South Africa and in Africa in general, it was wonderful to see that sort of commitment. That the people at those tables were the one that stood out for me was he was maybe in his late 20s, and he's already a unicorn in India, and he's already got two other new businesses that are each over 100 million US dollars. And it's just, I mean, and some of these others were much more mature companies. I think the largest microfinancer in India was here. It's really a diverse pool, and they all came here to look at how they can synergize. And definitely, I think every country that came here had these sort of delegations, and we even see how much of African leaders were at these events. I think over 20 of them were here as well. I think Ghana, Cameroon, Kenya, a lot of them were here, and having sideline events with some of the CEOs of our South African companies, with members of the BRICS delegation as well. So there's definitely Africa's potential is definitely going to be unlocked, hopefully, with the next few years or so. Thanks.
And I know this is a topic you and I have discussed offline before, but South Africa is very good at looking at the headlines and feeling that everything's going to be negative. I mean, I close this question. I'll pose this question as a closing one for you. You still an optimist on South Africa?
Always, always. The South African spirit is what I think we forget about. The hope, the ability to know that we've come through worse situations, and we definitely can look forward. Especially, just look at what we have here: the wildlife, the people, the food, the environment. We are really in a very special place in the world. This is the creation of where humanity started. So I'm definitely optimistic. Yes, we have our challenges, but I think we have enough people that are passionate about this country that will not let it fail.
Absolutely. I think that's the thing. We really need to try and turn this narrative around negativity. We've got to present ourselves as a continent and a country ripe for investment. And I think it's really been encouraging to hear some of your insights around the BRICS Summit. Ginen, thank you very much for your time, and looking forward to engaging down the line.
Definitely, Mark. Thank you for this opportunity again.